Hello everyone, my name is Anna-Maria Peltomäki.
And my name is Hanna Vänskä.
Greetings from Helsinki, Finland. We're here today to tell you about the reformation of the obligatory Finnish as a second national language test. We're both university teachers in Finnish as a second national language in University Helsinki Language Center. As many of you might know, Finland has two official languages, Finnish and Swedish. As an obligatory part of all the bachelor's degrees in Finland, students show their proficiency in their second national language. That means that if your mother tongue is Finnish, you will show your proficiency in Swedish. And if your mother tongue is Swedish, you will show your proficiency in Finnish. The oral and written proficiencies are evaluated separately with the scale of the Common European Framework. Level B1 equals satisfactory skills and B2 good skills. In University of Helsinki, the students can either take a course or a proficiency test. Majority of the students who have Finnish as a second national language take the proficiency test. And this proficiency test is the one we are now talking about.
Before 2018, the proficiency test was organized traditionally, which means that the students wrote a text on a supervised exam. The text was approximately 250 words long. They had 2 hours time, and they wrote this essay on their field of study, but with a pen on a paper. Afterwards, they met the teacher in oral part, and they discussed with the teacher an article regarding their field of study, and they also got feedback from the teacher. However, several researches and our own experience show that there are some problems in testing language proficiency this way. First of all, everything has to be learned by heart, since the students cannot take any writing resources with them in the test. And that makes the test artificial, and the relation with the real life is quite weak. Nobody writes a whole text about their field without any writing resources these days. Secondly, the old test didn't offer enough information for us teachers in order to assess the language proficiency. And thirdly, and most importantly, it was more like a study performance and not a learning experience. For many students, this is the only course or study unit in Finnish they take in their degree. So it should not just be a quick act, but a properly constructed learning package.
So we knew from the very beginning that in order for the test to better simulate real-life writing situations and to promote learning while writing with real-life writing tools, the test would have to be done online. So during the academic year 2018-2019, we started to test the new test in one of our faculties. We collected a lot of feedback. We interviewed the students who have taken the test, and we read a lot more research. Eventually, the test turned out to look like this. This new proficiency test has now been in use in University of Helsinki since September 2019, and this test is in use in all the faculties. This new proficiency test consists of 3 parts. And the first part is a completely new one. It's a pre-task. The students get the assignment for this pre-task a week in advance, so a week before the written part starts. In the pre-task, student chooses an article in Finnish on their own field of study. They submit the article to the teacher along with a list of keywords and a short summary about why they chose that text and why it is relevant to their studies. The written part is now done completely online in Moodle. It has 3 applied writing tasks. They simulate real-life writing situations. They all have time limits, and they all have the possibility to use writing tools, such as dictionaries and spell checkers. Oral part is now done as one-on-one conversation between the teacher and the student.
As Anna already told, the written part is now online in Moodle. The assignments which are in Moodle are open for 48 hours, which makes it more flexible for the students. And as Anna already told as well, the test consists of 3 texts which are pretty short. First is the reflection text, where the students write about their language skills, their proficiency, their language background. Then there are 2 real-life simulating writing tasks which Moodle chooses randomly, and the other one of them is written in 30 minutes, and the other one is written in 60 minutes, and it is based on the pre-task or the article that the student chose for the pre-task.
And like I said, the oral part is now a one-on-one conversation between the student and the teacher. It's a discussion based on both the article the student chose for the pre-task and all the text they wrote in the written part. So we've already seen how the student summarizes, motivates why they chose the article in question for the pre-task. We've seen how they write about that. And we've also seen in the written part how they use that article as a resource for one of their texts. So all this helps us and gives us the possibility to verify the authenticity of the texts, which is obviously a big thing to think about when the written part is done completely online without supervision. In addition to the discussion, we also have some time to give the student feedback on the written parts texts and also their overall language skills.
It's obvious that this kind of testing concerns many people, and because of the dishonesty and how to prevent dishonesty. However, there are many ways one can prevent dishonesty and make sure evaluating is reliable, despite the fact that the test can be done anywhere without supervision, and the students can use any kind of writing tools, and they have access to the internet the whole time. Here are some things we have done in order to prevent cheating. First of all, we have several tasks so that we have many texts we base our assessing on. Also, the time limits are rather strict. The Moodle chooses the assignments randomly so that the students cannot know which assignments they're going to get. Also, in the assignments, the instructions are rather precise. So we require the students to write certain word count, or we ask them to include certain things in the text. We also discussed the texts in oral part, as Anna already told as well. And the student has to be able to explain certain choices they make while writing, and if there are clearly a mismatch in oral and written proficiency, we also have a possibility to test and double check the students' writing skills during the oral part. What is also has to be said at this point is that using different writing tools doesn't mean that the students wouldn't need to know the language. It is one of the modern language skills, using the writing tools, and students have to practice it during studies. Using dictionaries doesn't weaken the reliability of the assessment. It just focuses it on communication, the rhetoric, and the assignments themselves.
So the biggest reason behind this reformation was the goal to make this proficiency test into a learning experience as well. So the most exciting and important and the interesting question is, what did the students end up learning? And we've been collecting feedback from the students for past 2 years now. And we've been able to kind of categorize the things they learn into 3 different skill categories. And the first one is language and communication skills. The students reported that they learned professional expressions and terminology. They learned ways of telling different people about their field of study. They also learned that it's essential to know different text genres no matter what they write. And it's also important, they also learned how to choose and summarize the most important things in a short amount of time. And they felt that that's the kind of thing they need in real life too. So we were really excited about these. In addition to language and communication skills, our students learned a lot of generic skills as well. They learned searching for information and articles in Finnish. They learned to use writing tools. They learned time management and working under pressure. And some of them learned that 30 minutes is not a very long time. We're really excited about these as well, since acknowledging real-life generic skills and competencies is something that is part of the strategic plan of University of Helsinki and also the curriculum of the Language Center as well.
And last but not least, the last category is metacognitive skills. And developing these metacognitive skills is kind of a side product in this new test. But however, it's important side product anyway. It seems that the students have learned a lot about themselves, as language users, as language learners. Some of them reported or said that they now have better self-confidence in speaking or writing in Finnish. And some of them wrote that maybe the self-confidence isn't better, but the self-knowledge has grown during this path, because they got the feedback from the teacher and also because they wrote this reflection text and had to think about it as well. Well, the students learned a lot, but did we learn something? Yes, we did. First of all, we noticed that despite using the writing tools, the scale grades haven't changed. They have stayed the same. We still have pretty much same amount of B1 writers as we have had before. Also, B1 writer still is a B1, even though they use writing tools. Same goes with B2 writing. We also learned that it increases flexibility when the test is done online, anywhere. And also the oral part can be done in Zoom or Teams. And it's been quite handy during pandemia times, last spring, for instance, and now during this autumn. The new test also requires more work and more resources from the teachers than the former one. So we actually learned that as well, of course. But the biggest learning experience for us is probably that it seems that it has been promoting learning and students' self-knowledge, and it takes better into account real life needs and real life communication needs as well.
Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions or comments, please contact us via email.
And here's a list of the references we had on the presentation. Thank you so much.